To make it easier for immigrants to come to this country?
I think we should for a number of reasons. The most famous entrepreneurs very often come from immigrant families. As we now know, Steve Jobs' parents were immigrants. We now know that, of course, Andrew Carnegie was an immigrant. Many of the most talented business leaders, Andrew Grove, others were immigrants in this country. Many of the great educators in our country were immigrants. Now, one of the reasons we need immigrants is not only you get people with fresh ideas and a willingness to work hard and a willingness to really do things that I think can make a country good, but also helps with the population growth. In any country, women of childbearing age, if they have less than 2.1 children per average woman, the population will go down ultimately, which is probably not a good thing for a country. In the United States, women of childbearing age on average produce 2.1 children, but that would produce a population that's exactly the same. We have the population can grow only if we have immigration. In recent years, we haven't been having very much immigration, and as a result of that, many people in this country are finding it's hard to get people to do certain kind of jobs, which often immigrants do, and so we have a labor shortage, honestly, in the United States. I think we should be more welcoming to people and not worry about where they exactly they came from. The immigration laws in this country didn't exist in most of this country's history. Anybody could show up. There were no visas, no passport requirements, nothing like that. It wasn't until people from Eastern Europe, people many of whom were Jewish, who started coming in the late part of the 19th century, early part of the 20th century, that people got alarmed that we weren't going to be as homogenous a population as some people wanted us to be. And so in 1925, legislation was created that essentially had limits on who can come into this country and very strict quotas on people from Eastern Europe and China and Asia and so forth. We got rid of that law in 1965 and made a much more welcoming law, but now it's not being implemented quite the way I think we should. And one of the reasons I think is that immigrants, when they come in, very often immigrants are now thought to be, by some people, likely Democratic voters. And I think some people on the Republican side say, well, we have all these immigrants in, that's going to create more voters for the other party. And that's one of the reasons why we haven't gotten the DACA legislation resolved or any immigration of any consequence in the last dozen years or so. It's very, very political now.